Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Unscripted Gaming. My name is Mike. Tonight I'm joined by Ray.
Yeah.
And if you folks aren't aware, there's been a lot of things that have been popping off in the wide world of gaming. We're here to help navigate that with you, the listener.
So you're talking about a bunch of things that have been popping off.
I guess so. We got a lot of news. Nintendo Direct just happened. Some less exciting news happened with Activision as well recently. We're gonna hit those in the news segment, but real quick, we're gonna touch on stuff we've been playing lately.
Yep.
Which is gonna be kind of dovetail into one of our bigger stories here, but lately, I guess, real quick, because I think our second game here is going to eat up a lot of our time and conversation for good reason. I wanted to give some brief thoughts, get your thoughts and my thoughts as well on the Anthem demo. It was not last weekend, but the weekend before that.
Yeah.
EA allowed a demo to go up for Anthem, which is like a action RPG with robot suits and you fly around and do stuff.
I do love mecha. Let me get that out of the way.
Yeah. Everyone loves mecha. Whomst among us doesn't love mecha?
The easiest way to get me to buy a game is you say you have either mecha or mecha suits, and typically I'm in. Typically, hint hint.
Yeah. So I don't know how much you played, but I played like I'm gonna say a couple of hours.
I played 2 hours. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but man, I kind of hated it. Like, there was nothing about that 2 hours that made me think this is gonna be fun. The problems I had with it is should we? Before I get into the problems I have with it, what did you think of it? Maybe I'm just being weird.
I think I kind of agreed. I don't know if I hated it. I kind of enjoyed it the way I enjoy, what's that game called? Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah.
Where the core game isn't particularly engaging. Like, it's not as like rock solid as something like Destiny is. But I could see myself wasting a lot of time with that game regardless. But I think there's just a lot. It's not like there's no one big thing that kind of does it for me, or that like kind of kills that game, Anthem, for me. But there's just lots of little things that really add up that kind of hampered the whole thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, just to rattle off a couple quick things, like, none of the story stuff that I saw in the demo looked engaging or interesting at all. I know that's not the main focus, but it's in the demo. I'm allowed to critique it. So, like, moving around the town, like, just wasn't really, like, a big thing for me. Like, it didn't feel like... It didn't feel like moving around the Citadel in Mass Effect, which was actually interesting and had some cool character stuff. This did not feel like that. Just general, like, just the game just kind of feels generally imprecise.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad because, like, my main reference point for this game is Destiny, which is kind of what they're billing this as. Like, you know, they're getting, like, big Destiny YouTubers to do content for it, and, like, previews and stuff. So that's what they're kind of billing this as. And it just doesn't have that same, like, exact, very crisp control that Destiny does. Like, I was trying to use, like, a melee ability in... we might have some footage going on here, but just some of the melees, like, when they connect, it feels great, but, like, I hit the button, and I don't have any clue where I'm going to go. Like, it might soft lock onto this guy, or it might whiff. Like, it feels really imprecise in a way in not like a way that is like cool, like a cool engaging skill way. It's like I think that should have hit, but it didn't for some reason, and I have no idea why. and it's just, and then the other thing is like the game also kind of pitched a big, like, also makes a big deal of like the flying. So you're like go like Iron Man style. You're like flying around from objective to objective, which is cool. But it's kind of just like a glorified way to go around the environment from fight to fight. Like, it's not the flying, at least in like the demo encounters, wasn't really like integral to any of those fights. Like, you can hover and like float around a bit in the fights, but you're not like dog fighting or doing like strafing runs or anything like that, which is kind of what I had pictured. Part of that's on me for expecting something else, but it just feels like it's like it's like your Sparrow in Destiny, how you just like
you just use it to get around. It's not really used for anything else.
Like, it's not the core. It's not a core part of the like the combat, which is what I thought it was going to be. Again, that's kind of on me.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, it feels like, well, it kind of feels like a missed opportunity to make that. That would have been really cool if they had like almost like, spare me the reference, but almost like give me like part Destiny, part Crimson Skies.
Ooh, deep
like
cuts.
A little bit, like just a little bit of touch of like arcadey dog fighting or something. Like,
would you say like Star Fox?
I mean, almost like.
Why not Macross? I mean,
like I said, it's something that they like pitch as like being like it's something that they sold as being a big part of the game, and it just feels really, I don't want to say inconsequential, but it's not a core part of the combat, and the core combat that is there is just doesn't have the oomph of like Destiny, of Destiny gunplay, and it just, I don't know. I wasn't super blown away. Like I said, it's not any one of those things that really killed it for me, but just like lots of little things like that just really I wasn't like super hot on it to begin with, but really kind of cooled my thoughts on the game in general. Is there kind of any other last minute things you want to say about Anthem?
Yeah, so what I didn't like about the game is I don't know who designed the menu UI just to do a mission.
Jeez, yeah.
But my gosh, go! Hey, listen, my man or my woman, I don't know which one, but seriously, my peoples, you need to reopen the book in game UI because it should not take me 3 minutes to figure out how to do a mission. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? Do I quick select? Do I just select here? And that's just getting to the mission. Walking to get your armor. That might have been the slowest walk cycle I've ever experienced in a game, and the fact that it was in first person did not help anything at all. It felt, for a high action game, I was like, why are you making me do this? This is torture.
Like, and then just like another thing, I just remembered it. Like in Destiny, I honestly, we haven't done a lot of video stuff with Destiny lately. Maybe we should do more. Anyways, but in Destiny, I am a weirdo who's like constantly switching my subclass, constantly switching out the weapons I use, just because that's like, I like using different guns and like different things because it keeps the game fresh for me. And but in Anthem, essentially you have to, so you pick your guns and then you pick your class, and then if you want to change any of that, you have to go load all the way back to the town, which was a long load on my PC. So I don't know how that's going to be, how that was on console, but
oh yeah. The optimization of this game is, at least for the demo, inexcusably bad. Like,
yeah, it was
not
rough.
Getting 60 frames per second at all.
And then you have to so you load into the city, then you have to load into the forge. Then you pick your new guns and your new class if you want to.
That's another thing. Your gun, the one gun you're taking to the field, that's it. You are not switching weapons mid-combat.
Like,
you find a sexy new gun on the ground, cool. You gotta finish your mission before you could even think of using it again. You're, okay.
Yeah, like it just. I mean, in Destiny, it's like the equivalent of going back to the tower in Destiny to change your subclass, which just seems crazy to me. Like that way, it just what?
No looter shooter makes you do
honestly,
that.
I think that was the kind of like the catalyst of me being like, I don't think I really like this.
That
like like there are enough things about it that are like fun, and like, and I like seeing shooting guys and seeing numbers go up, and I mean, like just that pure like Skinner box shit stuff. But like that was the thing. It's just like I'm so used to like kind of min-maxing every encounter in Destiny with like, okay, this is this fight, so like I want to make sure I have this exotic shotgun ready with like this to take care of this guy, and then I switch to my sniper for this part. Like being able to swap on the fly, like it makes me feel like I'm really good at Destiny. And just have that be completely removed from Anthem as like a mechanic blows my mind.
I thought I would love this, but their core thesis of the game, like their core mechanic of flying, I felt like such a dumbass flying in that game.
Whoa.
You know the first part in Iron Man where Tony Stark finally gets the suit like built, and he's just like smacking himself across the room? That was me, except actually in the game, and I couldn't fix it until I stopped playing the game, because the flight controls are so precise for mouse and keyboard, and you can't really fine-tune or lock them in. And I was just like, this is awful. This feels so bad. There's a cool little thing you could do where you could shoot your gun while flying, but it doesn't do anything special. Like if it did something cool, like you do more damage, or you get to a better vantage point. No, the enemies are just bullet sponges. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it was like flying. It was like you're hovering. Like you're not like doing like a super lightning fast like strafing run or anything. You're just kind of like strafing in midair. Which is
that's it.
I don't know.
Like there's so much that could be done. It's kind of like the Frostbite engine wasn't meant for these types of games, and EA needs to stop making BioWare use the Frostbite engine for things it wasn't intended for. It was not intended for this. Clearly. Or I know why, I get why, but man, the worst thing that happened to Anthem was letting people play it early. It's a great thing, saves me $60, but it gave me insight into like, oh no, this is bad. None of this is a good. Oh no.
Yeah.
Comes out in a couple days as of this recording.
But there is one thing we can thank Anthem for, and it is getting my Origin launcher updated, because one thing we can thank Anthem for is getting our Origin updater up to date so we can play Apex Legends, a surprise free-to-play battle royale from the makers of Titanfall, and we've been playing a good bit of it, and we really like it.
Seriously, I have 27 hours in the game.
Yes. I do not have that many.
I can't stop playing it.
It's really good. And it kind of answers my wish that of the AAA polish applied to a battle royale game. Like, it doesn't have the weird jank of PUBG. It has like a way tighter shooting than Fortnite, and just has a lot of other really smart kind of decisions. Like for example, like the ping system. Like you can you have a dedicated button to like ping something, and it's contextual when you use it. So if you ping it at a bad guy, they'll be like, "Oh, hey, there's a bad guy over there." If you ping it at gear, it'll tell the rest of your squad, "Oh, hey, there's this gear here," and like the other. It's like it's a really great way to. It's a great way to communicate without being able to, without even like talking at all. So so for like, because the game is there is no like single player game. You are put into teams of 3, and so it's I think we're gonna see like the smart ping it's almost like a Dota or like a League of Legends or Dota style ping. If we are gonna see this a lot in a lot more games soon, just because it is that good. Like it just works that well.
So the shooting feels good. Pinging everything to let not enemies, but your friendlies know what's good. You know what one of my favorite pings is?
Mm-hmm.
It's the ping where I pick up the triple take sniper rifle. Very powerful sniper rifle that fires 3 bullets as once. Nothing drops their shields better. Seriously. And I pick it up and I don't happen to have a scope. I can go into my inventory. I hit the ping button and the character says out loud in the language that you have selected. We'll take my favorite Lifeline, or Bayline as I call her. I love that character. Combat medics got to stick together. She's like, I'm looking for a sniper scope. Level 1. I'm like, yes, that's what I need. I need good communication. You never have to have your mic on when talking with people, but the fact that the game is forced to be so team dependent, this is one of the few first-person shooters since Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 where I didn't mind having my mic on.
Mm-hmm.
Modern Warfare 2, I learned my lesson, and the mic went
off.
on.
No.
Oh, it did. You can only hear someone call you the N-word just so many times before you're like, you know what, this isn't fun anymore.
It's like that part from the new Dragon Ball movie when Frieza goes to meet all the Saiyans, and then he says something very inappropriate.
What? He just calls them all monkeys. He always calls them monkeys. That's his shtick.
That's not cool, Frieza.
Saiyans have tails and big ears.
Cool.
Frieza's a racist. Are you just figuring this out?
No, I'm not. It's the people need to know. Frieza is still racist, even though he came back from the dead. Still bad.
The destruction of planet Vegeta was an inside job.
That's another podcast for another day. Anyways,
okay.
I like you just kind of touched on it, but Apex, like the other thing that kind of sets this apart is that it has characters. So, like, it's not as crazy as Overwatch. Like, they all move. Like, they all have the same like movement and like don't have like preset guns or anything, but they have just enough like perks and differences that like there are kind of synergies you can kind of work it, and I think they do some really smart, like some really cool things. Like one character I like, his name is Pathfinder. He's a robot, and one of his abilities is that there are secret beacons you can find on the map, which if you like go, and they're usually kind of in pretty exposed places, so you need your team to cover you. But if you get to them and kind of hack into it, it'll tell you where the next like safe zone is going to be. So, which gives you like a ton of information about how you should be moving and stuff like that. And I think it's a really cool way to translate like kind of like an ability or like perk from something like Titanfall or COD into the battle royale like genre, and I think it worked. Like there's just a lot of smart stuff like that of like how there's a chance you can like if a teammate dies, you can grab their respawn beacon and like you have to manually take it to a spawn thing and like manually like charge it, which like leaves you really exposed. So it's like kind of a really risky thing, but if you pull it off, you can get one of your teammates back. Like there's just so much smart stuff. I mean, it's not.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's like one of the most important features. The fact that you can revive completely dead teammates if you get to their like dead kit in a while.
Yeah,
fast enough.
It's really cool. But yeah, so I honestly don't have much more to say about that other than I'm just really enjoying it and can't wait to see what else they do.
Feels good when you get the champion with the victory.
Game. Yeah, I have not secured a championship victory yet, but I will get there. And
can we talk about the publishing of this game, because that's the most interesting thing to me?
Yes.
So Respawn Entertainment. This is just all third-party rumor I heard, but there's too much evidence to like force it to not be true. They didn't want any of EA's marketing help. They, as far as I heard, they didn't want their PR help like before the game launched. They didn't want of any additional EA development help. From what has been rumored, it's just Respawn Entertainment said, "Let us make the game. We will release it the day it's done. Literally, we do not need or want your publishing efforts before the launch of this game." Because Respawn was feeling salty. Van Simpella, I think that's how you enunciate his last name, was feeling really salty at EA's publishing efforts for Titanfall 2 and how they just threw them under the bus and released Battlefield 1 like a week or two before Titanfall 2. And like, just Titanfall 2, great campaign of a game. Everyone should give it a shot if you get the chance. But many people didn't. They're like, oh, I want to play Battlefield right now. I want to play this other first-person shooter. Which is a shame. That's such a shame.
Titanfall's the way, but Titanfall 2 is like, I don't want to say the peak of the Call of Duty style shooter genre, but that game is real good.
It is really. It's the movement. It's the movement and the shooting and mechs. And mechs. Your mech talks to you. He's your best friend. That's great. I love it. Love every second of it. But this game just came, as far as everyone else was concerned, out of nowhere, and it is just gangbusters.
Yeah, they Beyonce'd.
It is topping the Twitch charts.
Yes.
Beating Fortnite. Just beating Fortnite over the head.
And the number, I mean, that's kind of the other story thing of it, is just that just because the core game is so solid, it's free to play. This game already has 25 million players. It's got a peak concurrent of 2 million. So if they support this game well and continue to refine it and add more stuff, it's gonna be really crazy to see where this game goes. Just because it's already off to such a hot start. And I look forward to it. For sure. Well, Ray, do you want to move into our news section here?
No, but let's do it anyways.
Okay, well, we're going to start with the bad news first.
Yeah.
And the bad news being, well, you know, there's been a lot of news recently here, but I would say the
Yeah, Felix.
So the big news, well, some of the big news is that Activision Blizzard has laid off approximately 8% of its staff, about 800 people in total.
Give or take.
This just happened yesterday and was like announced on an earnings call. And you know, there have been a lot of just layoffs in games and like media companies lately that have really made people kind of stingy about some of this stuff, which I think is totally fair because it's really frustrating to see your CEO Bobby Kotick say, quote, Activision has, quote, once again achieved record results in 2018. Somewhat like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was the best-selling console game this year. It outsold Black Ops 3. And just other projects have been very successful for them. But they laid off 8% of its staff. And it's just, I mean, the bootlicker force here, it would come like well, like the projects end and stuff. And it's like, yes, I'm aware that projects end, but like, I think this whole thing reeks of just like a insane over leveraging and just vastly unrealistic expectations. Like this kind of ties into another news story, which I don't know if we talked about, honestly, but with Bungie splitting from Activision and independently publishing Destiny going forward. And Activision, in the same earnings call, said that was a decision they made because they couldn't further monetize without control of the IP. And it's like Destiny has a really healthy.
Imagine what that means.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like Destiny has a really healthy, loyal like player base. It's like it's just like at a certain point, like it's just kind of a like I know projects end. I know you don't want to pay people to like sit around and do nothing all day. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, it's just like.
Well, it's
maybe your expectations for growth are just completely out of line, and
it's kind of hard to hear from Bobby Kotick, who's because he's that high up in the company, his salary is public. It's $30 million a year, and they just hired a brand new CFO a month and a half ago.
Who got
this recording. Yeah, I forget what his actual take home. I think it's something close to like $2 million.
The initial compensation package he received was totaled at $15 million.
Yeah, $15 million in bonuses.
And it was like, some cash, some stock, whatever, the whole package.
Yeah. And then then when you hear on the call, like, we broke all of our records, but because we're going to have a softer 2019, we're going to have to go ahead and remove some of this workforce. Granted, they're all getting severance packages. They're all getting extended health. Their health care is going to be extended. I think it's for 2 months. And they're all getting, I do believe, opportunities to go to job fairs. Which, if you got to take someone out of the company, the best way to do it is with as soft a landing as possible. But I believe a person I listened to brought this up, and if Bobby Kotick was to lose his job right now, that second, snap my fingers, I Thanos him away from his job, he, once again, probably has his salary amount in the bank, because I'm sorry, you just can't spend $30 million a year. People can't spend that much. You have to buy a yacht or a private jet constantly.
You're buying things at an incredibly you're at that point it's just like it's a high score. Like you're just there's no material value. It's just like pure.
There are military vehicles of war, not many, but some that don't cost as much as this man makes a year. Really, really think about how much $30 million a year is for one person, and then him to pop off and say, we got to cut these jobs of these people. It's like, dude.
That's the thing. It's like, again, like I don't know how much personal experience you have like working in the games industry, but like I said, like layoffs, like work for some projects ends sometimes. Like I understand that, and sometimes there might not be available work for those teams to immediately jump into, so that might be the best option to do. But like 800 people, like I think that's the thing that really makes this like really like just awful, is the fact that they're giving this guy like a huge compensation package like a month before this guy shows up. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe part of that reason why he got such a sweetheart deal is because Activision is in dire straits. I mean, Kotick's still getting his giant like payday. Them talking about like talking about how this was still like a record-breaking year for Activision, and one of their, I think they said their most successful year to date, and they're still laying off 8% of their workforce. 800 people. Like at that point, it's just like there is just a top-down like mismanagement. I think
they're all U.S. based as well. I want to get that out of the way before some people say like we're the international studios. No, that was all U.S. studios.
Yeah, and it just, to me, that's just like it's just like just top-down like mismanagement, like over leveraging of it's like, well, nothing is going to be profitable if you have like ludicrous return expectations. Like if you it's just a complete scope mismanagement just to like leverage a few more bucks, especially because Activision is, like a lot of other companies these days, are increasing dividends and to shareholders and aggressively engaging in stock buybacks.
So
it's like,
consider this. Consider how much damage that Activision just did for themselves on like a gigantic meta scale. No one worth their salt or talent, like actual like development or publishing talent, is going to want to work for a company that literally does not care about you. They see you as a number. You can help that company be the most successful it's ever been. Doesn't matter. Your job is on the firing line when it comes to an earnings call. No one wants to work for that. So like, true talent right now isn't looking at Activision and polishing their resume to work there. They're like, you know what? I'll take my chances somewhere else. Maybe I'll start my own
it's
studio.
like, it's just kind of like, I mean, the whole thing just screams like Activision doesn't really have an answer for battle, like beyond Blackout, which is part of Call of Duty. Doesn't really have an answer for like the sensation that is sweeping the nation, that is Fortnite, on that scale, and like they just don't have an answer for it. And I think that's what it just like, it's just so frustrating because it's so clearly like I was saying, like they're doing buybacks, they're increasing dividends. It's so clear, it's just a clear concentration of wealth that it's like, again, even if there is part of it is mainly just, these teams just didn't have any specific work anymore. Like Activision probably doesn't need much staff dedicated to doing Destiny publishing because that deal has ended. That's understandable.
There's probably
but
a lot
like
of that in there.
that isn't 8% of the company.
No, it's a lot of support staff from Blizzard, King, Activision itself. There's one in the studio whose name escapes me. It's one of the ones that Activision owns. I constantly forget that they own. Either way, none of it feels good because you just flooded the market with a bunch of, I assume, decent talent out there. Granted, a lot of it is support and administrative talent. Like, if I remember correctly, I don't think a lot of development or any development staff was part of this. It was all support based and all PR and communications, like marketing based. So a lot of what you said is true. Like the Destiny support team probably isn't needed anymore. But what other games does Activision have on the horizon? Well, they said in the earnings call, nothing. And shouldn't that concern them as a company that the business? Activision is not like Konami, and they're not like Samsung. Samsung, you don't always think of like TVs. They also make phones, and they have a computer line that's not doing great, but they have it. They have a portfolio of products. Activision has video games, and last I checked, the only thing coming out is like whatever the next Call of Duty is coming out next year, like all the way in November of 2019.
And like a Crash Team Racing remaster. They are publishing Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Are they?
They are. Which is really weird now that I think about it.
That is weird. Also, I said I'm not buying any Activision games in 2019, and I got to hold strong, but no, that game looks interesting. Hold strong.
But yeah,
there are plenty of other games from reputable. That's another thing. Can we get this out of here? If you really believe in the phrase "vote with your wallet," guess what? Activision doesn't care about the employees.
That's
at all.
That's the thing I wanted to say is like, well, kind of related to that is, even if you did vote with your wallet, like, you can't vote with you could not have voted with your wallet hard enough to even begin to scratch the surface of like the the money they would make from like share buybacks and increasing dividends. Like at a certain like buying with your wallet assumes we're working on like a fair merit-based market. And these kinds of moves are the ones you make when we are not in that.
Also,
I'm not here to like like obviously like that's like I said, like it's something that we've joked about, like, that's if you don't like something, don't buy it. But I don't even think that would matter in this case. It wouldn't matter just like the scope of that, just like this is just like a pure investor capital move. Like it almost doesn't matter like how much, how successful 2018 was or even what 2019 was. It just feels like this is the kind of move you make that is just so disconnected from the core business. Just as like I said, is a pure concentration of wealth that it doesn't matter, and that is really bad and awful and really sucks. And I really hope Activision is catching a lot of heat for this, and I hope that people stay mad about this, because this is gross and, more importantly, and for them, unsustainable.
Yeah, growth does have an endpoint, and one day they'll find out what it is. Obviously, they don't think the endpoint is in 2019, and that's fine to think that. What do I know, right?
Exactly. Well, hey.
Talk about good news.
Parting shot, gamers, game developers, and people who work at game studios. If you aren't thinking about unionizing, you should maybe think about it.
I think about it all the time.
I don't think it doesn't prevent layoffs, but it sure helps. So, I'd think about it.
Yeah. Bargaining. Get a seat at the table.
Exactly. Fun news time. We're talking about fun news now.
Yep.
There was a Nintendo Direct today, and boy howdy did we get a lot of announcements from that.
I did not watch it, so you have to tell me a little about it.
Okay, well, do you know, other than the ones I posted about, do you know anything that was announced?
Okay, so I'm looking at it right now. I see the Zelda thing. Dragon Quest. Okay, Dragon Quest.
I'll just run down the list. So,
okay.
Here's what we got. Super Mario Maker 2 for the Switch. June 2019.
Wait, I didn't see that.
Yup.
Woo!
And they've got ramps. They've got some stuff from 3D World, like lots of other little improvements and changes. I think they've even built. They understand that it's not really a touchscreen based system, so it seems like they built some pretty clever tools to build with just a controller, which would be essential. But I assume if you're undocked, you could still use a. It looks like you could still use it as like a touchpad, regardless. Moving on, just another update on Marvel Ultimate Alliance. The Black Order coming out late summer 2019. I liked those Ultimate Alliance games. Would be more there for another one. Got a new Box Boy and Box Boy game, which was a 3DS game.
Box Boy and Box Girl.
Yes. I like that game's pretty cute looking. Sarah played it and liked it.
It looks
that's cool. Moving on, we've got so many announcements here. It's kind of ridiculous. We got a Smash 3.0 update. New DLC characters. I think they've got a couple other things. It sounds like they've got a couple other things coming in that spring update. The level 9s are crazy and can tech out of Ganondorf's side B, which blows my mind.
I love how that's been like that's just literally been blowing your mind.
No, like, so brief sidebar away from the direct. So I've been playing some Smash Bros. Lately, and Ganondorf, my guy, has a move where you can grab somebody, and if you're in the air when you hit them with it, you drop and slam into the ground. And if you're over a cliff while you do it, you slam down to the bottom of the stage and you kill yourself, but also very likely the other person too. But apparently
it's called a Ganon side.
The Ganon suicide B. But apparently the level 9 bots in Smash, which are like really crazy and good, can somehow get out of this grab, which is something they could not ever do before, which is really messing me up. I'm like, what do you mean you can just leave this grab? That's not how this works. What? Blows my mind. Anyways.
No more Ganon sides.
You got some updates to Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Yeah.
It's cool. Some DLC coming for that. Update on Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is like a Symphony of the Night Castlevania kind of thing. Coming some later. Final release date announced for summer 2019. Dragon Quest Builders 2, July 2019. I didn't play that first one.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought it was just Dragon Quest 11.
There's also Dragon Quest 11. My good boy. There's both. Looks like we've got some more Starlink stuff. A game called Rune Factory 4, which I've never played, is coming in 2019. And they announced a game called Rune Factory 5. Let's see here.
You're burying the lead. Tetris Battle Royale.
I haven't gotten there yet. Darn it, we're getting there. We've got a new Square Enix RPG, Oninaki.
Oh, that's a Square Enix one? I didn't know.
Yes. We got a Yoshi's Crafted World demo out today. Main game coming March 2019. I thought Yoshi's Woolly World was cute. Might look at another one of those. A new Fire Emblem game. It's coming out on July 26th, which is great because I love me some Fire Emblem.
Like Awakening.
And getting to know my party.
And petting them. They sometimes need pet.
Tetris 99.
Oh man.
Out today.
A battle royale
for free. If you're a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber. Which makes sense. It is a Tetris battle royale game, which, if it isn't something we've specifically joked about on this podcast before, is definitely very close to something we've specifically joked about before, where it's like, 100 puzzle games drop out of a plane,
Now it's real.
And now it's real. And now it's like that one time that Obama said, "Thanks, Obama," and then we couldn't make that joke anymore because we've already hit the peak, and this is that.
This is new peak.
There are no other battle royale like game jokes to make because we have Tetris Battle Royale, and it's out now for free.
Have you played it?
No, but I've downloaded it, and I will play it tomorrow morning.
There's this thing I was looking at that looked kind of hot. It's the demo for Daemon Ex Machina.
Yes, I was going to say that. I was going to make sure you knew about that yet as well, because you like robots.
Oh, it's made from the developers of Armored Core. I'm totally giving this game a shot. Absolutely.
Was there shoot, what was that one? It's the Sega game with the robots.
Virtual-On?
Yeah. Are we getting? Wasn't there a Virtual-On remaster happening somewhere? Am I crazy?
Virtual remasters have happened. They just don't always get a U.S. release.
Bastards.
So they exist.
Okay, moving on. We got Dead by Daylight. Who cares? Deltarune Chapter 1 coming to the Switch February 28th. It's a follow-up to Undertale, a game we enjoyed.
Which is odd because, like, Chapter 1 has been available for months.
Yeah.
It's a free game.
But it takes time to get something on the Switch, you know.
I know. It's just like I wonder how many Switch fans are actually excited about that.
Hey, I am a sucker for anything not on the Switch being on the Switch and being like, ooh. I'm like a child. I'm easily amused by this.
You're like, wait a minute, is this getting the Switch port?
Like a toddler. We got Hellblade, Susuno's Sacrifice. It's okay to be mentally ill, folks. Spring 2019. It's on the Switch.
I do need to give that game a shot. So maybe
Mortal Kombat 11, April 23rd, 2019.
Not a fighting game as far as I'm concerned.
Whoa!
Yep. Come at me.
That is a hot take, but also just a wrong take because
it is a fighting game, not a good fighting game.
I was like, you know, I prefer Mortal Kombat and like Injustice style like inputs are not my favorite fighting games, but there's no fighting game. Never.
No, okay. There's still fighting games in the name. Yeah, I am that weird person that will gladly accept Smash Brothers as a fighting game versus Mortal Kombat.
That is the
Yep.
That's a real Galaxy brain take. Like what? Wait, never mind. We can't. We don't have time for this. We don't have time. I'm okay. Unravel 2.
That's cool.
That's cool. Coming to Switch March 22nd. Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered May 21st. I liked hot take. I liked Assassin's Creed 3. I didn't play any other Assassin's Creed after that, which would suggest that I didn't like Assassin's Creed 3, but I thought it was okay.
Hey, in 1 month, I have to buy this like as principle, like it'll just sit on my memory card and never go anywhere. But Final Fantasy VII comes out next month for Switch. And I seriously just I'm like, how much is it? Whatever. Download, buy. Okay, I'm not gonna play it. Maybe I'll pick it up. But
Chocobo Mystery. Speaking of Final Fantasy, we got Chocobo Mystery Dungeon.
Oh my God, I can't care.
We have Final Fantasy VIII. Just kidding. It's not Final Fantasy VIII. It's Final Fantasy IX.
And 10.
Later
and
today.
12.
And 10. And are we getting 10 too?
Please, I hope not.
Then we're getting some crazy looking game called Astral Chain from
Platinum.
From Platinum, which I haven't. I'm watching the trailer now. It seems to be some sort of like anime cop game because these people
Say no more.
It's like it's like anime cops fighting but there's like you have summons and then there's like it looks kind of like Nier Automata at times and there I don't know, man. There's some stuff happening here.
I just want to remind you that the last game that Platinum made was Nier Automata. All right, they're batting 1,000 for me right now.
Yeah, to make the game of the generation is that's a home run. You can do whatever you want after that. Anime magic
space cop.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Whatever you say. Approved. Next up, this rundown sheet I'm looking at says Bayonetta 3 acknowledged, which I assume just means yes, we're still making that game.
That could mean anything.
So I assume that this means like, hey, they're still working on this game too. Finger guns.
Yeah.
And then the last game is kind of wild because it's to say it's just a remake is selling it short here. It's a full-on like remake of The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, which is a Game Boy 2D Zelda game.
I'm in.
That many people would say is one of their favorite Zelda games.
When I was a child, like when I was very young, I must have beat that game 100% 3 times. So the nostalgia I have for that game can't be measured. I'm totally in. A full 3D remake of that, yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, cause the original was on the Game Boy, but this new one has some like, the art is just super cool. Like it's got like a kind of a tilt shift, like 3D, like little tiny little guy. Like I don't know how like the best way to describe it, or even like what a good comparison would be.
It looks kind of like a Link Between Worlds. That game that came out.
Yeah, it does. It looks. I mean, like, yeah, it looks like a Link Between Worlds, but with just like enhanced, just like enhanced from there. And I have never played Link's Awakening, so I think I will definitely be getting this because this looks pretty great.
If you get the chance, just find like on the DSi shop or something like that, Link's Awakening. It's a really good game. Really solid. You probably beat it in like 5-8 hours or something like that.
Okay.
It's not long.
And that's the direct. It was a meaty direct. Sarah rated it a 0 out of 10 because we didn't get any Animal Crossing news.
That is fair. I think that is a valid complaint. You got more news about the Smash Brothers DLC than you did about Animal Crossing, which is due sometime this year.
Yes. So, take that for what it's worth.
It's been canceled.
No one has it. The F-Zero sequel has been permanently canceled, and I will, which is I cry about it every day. But
can we talk about that? What's going on?
No.
It's not like
no, we can't.
No, okay.
No, we cannot.
I love F-Zero. No, I love F-Zero GX. It's just I don't know. It does no one. Is the talent just no longer there or something? I don't know.
We cannot discuss this.
Okay.
But that was a rundown of today's Nintendo Direct. There's a lot of cool stuff happening on the Switch this year.
It's a good year to own a Switch.
That is for sure. 2018 has Smash Bros.
2018 like had
December had Smash Bros.
Yeah, December had Smash Bros. It ended strong, but ugh. I got a lot of PS4 action. God of War kept me going.
All right, well, I think that's about all I want to cover tonight. So I say we end the podcast.
That's a great idea.
Okay, well, Josh is like the expert at the spiel of where you want to find us. But if you want to find us on YouTube, which is where we would sure love your subscriptions and viewing of our content, just find us at Unscripted. Unscripted Podcast is the name of the channel. So look us up there. We've got some Unscripted Gaming Plays X of Apex Legends, and I think we'll probably continue to be playing some more of that.
Should be some footage in the background.
Yeah, so we'll get some footage of that and continue doing some more stuff there. I think Ray and I have got an idea for some more video-based series that we want to do here in the near future. Yeah. So check us out there. If obviously like, comment, subscribe, and hey, if you feel like it, leave a review on your respective podcast platforms to help us out there, because those sure do a lot for us as well. So
helps a whole lot.
I think that's all I got, my friend.
Well then, let's go ahead and end it out.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for listening to Unscripted Gaming. My name is Mike.
My name is Ray.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.